doing?
Hello, everyone. I'm Ariana, and today I'm going to give my speech about why sexual education should be taught in middle schools and high schools. It is very important that sexual education be taught in middle schools and high schools. Many teenagers are sexually active and they tend to believe that nothing could happen to them. They look over all the harms and endangerments that sex could bring. They believe that everything will be okay and they just ignore anything beyond what they believe. Sex is a characteristic piece of life and it can come with or without sex training. Up to 71% of teenagers have engaged themselves in sexual relations, and almost up to 99% of American teenagers they will have sex during their younger adult life. Um, there are about 50 states that don't require sexual ed training in middle schools. Sex is a crucial piece of human being human, but not exactly 50% of our state requires that ed because they believe that it wouldn't help anything, including Mississippi, the state we are in now. And the large portion of what is being educated around the world is disappointing. Because we won't talk about sex does not mean that it's simply going to disappear. As I grew up being a teenager, my mom lectured me all throughout my teenagehood. My mom was always teaching me about many things because she knew that one day I would become an adult. Sex was thought of as being pleasurable to many, but it isn't right that any teenager involve themselves with those activities at all. The value of sex is more valuable than anyone could imagine. It's really for married adults. And I was always taught that there are many things that we know or think we know about it, but we really don't. There are many people that think they know about it, but don't, which is the teenagers. So they need responsible adults to teach them. So today I'm going to argue about why sexual education should be taught in schools, middle and high schools specifically. Imagine your daughter, you having a daughter, and she wants to go on a date with a high school football star. Would you just send her out and say, yes, sure? Or would you question her, why are you going? Where are you going? Tell me all about this guy. What if she became pregnant due to your lack of communication? Would you feel that you are a better parent then because you didn't lecture her on what she should know about sex? Or just having teenage talk with her in general? There are up to 45 states that are stopping their children from having sexual education. The teen pregnancy rate has rose tremendously since 2005, according to the National Campaign of Pre- Preventing Pregnancy and Unplanned Pregnancy. Sorry. But this is because the parents and guardians and adults who know have not taken the time to reach out and teach their children, which is causing terrifying outcomes. Many young girls are love watching shows such as Teen Mom. They make everything seem so good about teen pregnancy. They make them get the idea that, hey, this isn't bad. I can handle the responsibilities that come with it. And those type of shows make teen pregnancy look like, hey, you can do this. This is what everyone does, but it really shouldn't be that way. This is why parents, guardians, or any adult should step in and talk to their children, and they should have sexual education in middle and high schools. Teachers should be allowed to step in and teach sexual ed to students in middle and high schools. Normally, people take confidence in depending on parents to teach their kids about their adulthood and how to live a risk-free life. But many teens don't have parents or guardians. Or they don't have parents at all, not parents that'll teach them all the things that they need to know about sex. So I honestly don't believe that it's fair when we try to depend on the parent to be responsible of not preparing their children for the adulthood activities that may come their way. We, the people, have to realize that we think the parents should be held responsible for the teenager mishaps. We need to take a look and rethink. Maybe they don't know the things that they need to know about it either. But learning from sexual ed at school will provide the students with accurate information and reliable sources that they could turn to instead of turning to their friends, peers. Middle school children are not too young to learn about sex. In fact, they are at the mature age. The health librarian says that the earlier they learn, the more likely they will prepare themselves. Teachers sometimes make students feel comfortable in learning and talking about certain information rather than talking to their parents and being judged about the things that they may ask or the things they may want to say. Also, if they are having sex, they will learn separate ways to do so. But the best thing to do is prevent it. STDs also play a major role in sex. And that is also something that could be learned in sexual ed class. All about sexually transmitted diseases. Many people understand that sexual ed is good for teens, but there is still no pushing it into the high schools and middle schools, which is not helping anything. Earlier in my speech, I mentioned teen pregnancy being a problem in the world. But bringing in sexual education in school, I believe that the teen pregnancy rate would drop by 2022. There will be less abortions and less adoption rates. All of those will increase. As we know, those are huge problems in the world today. And for the teens that are stepping out that's having sex, they will tend to be more responsible about the things they do and the choices that they make. They will have knowledge and they will have also learned on ways to prevent themselves from getting STDs, or they will learn how to use condoms correctly. And that will cause the STD rate to go down and also pregnancy rate. I also believe that parents will also gain their children's comfortness because they will be able to confide in their parents and talk to them about things instead of being afraid about the information they want to know or they already know. But most importantly, after all of those rates drop and having sexual ed talk, teenagers will be able to live like they're supposed to, going to the movies on the weekends, going skating, or just hanging out with your friends and studying over phone on the weekdays. So, sexual ed should be brought into the middle and high schools. It is the best way to prevent pregnancies, STDs, and it also helps the teenagers become more comfortable with talking to their parents. Sexual education should be taught in the schools because it is no better thing to do. I mean, it's no other way, no best way you can learn. Being there with your teachers, being there with your peers, they are growing teens, and I feel that they should earn all of the knowledge that they could possibly know during those times. Because once they leave out of those grade schools, they're finally in their adulthood. So they know everything they need to know. And that will protect the world, not only just the teenagers, it could even teach the adults as well. So in my speech today, I want to push the idea of sexual education being brought into schools. I believe that it will help prevent many things, prevent teenagers from harm, and living lives that they aren't prepared for, but they think they are. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.